The following are clips and images describing our principles in building from the back at Coe College. We use these ideas to start our game. We find it very important that if our build out is clean to start, the rest of the game becomes much easier for us. This image represents our starting points from a goal kick position in the attacking phase. Notice the center backs split to the corners of the 18. The 2s and 3s go high and wide, which pushes the 7 and 11 inside to provide another option. Our target for the build-up phase is for this to happen through the central corridor of the field versus wide, where we're pinned against the sideline. This is a video of using our goalkeeper to reset the game, but I want us all to pay attention to the work of our back four and getting in the shape to build again. Our 5 really sprints and creates a nice open shape to play. As you'll see in future images, we will then need to adjust or coordinate our build-up based on the amount of pressure that's being brought by our opponents. Here in this image, we have our center backs being pressed by 2 strikers out of a 4-4-2 shape. What you'll see is the arrow is pointing to the center backs sliding deeper alongside the edges of the 18 to force a decision from the 2 pressing forwards. Do they stay and continue to man mark, leaving space to play to our 2s and 3s, or do they stay off, giving space to our 4 and 5 to start the game? I often ask players to connect our exercises and training to how we play. And then you can see in the yellow highlighted area, what we've created numerically in this build-out situation is a 4v2, which is an exercise we use quite often. This is just the stage of the first start of our build-up, but it's important to be comfortable in this 4v2 scenario. It is important, though, to note that though we've created this numbers up situation in a 4v2, we're still looking to progress the game. So whenever we have the opportunity to play forward and face forward in our play and get into our attacking half, we choose that option. Further highlight the connection to the 4v2 from the first stage is how the 4v2 again is created in the second stage of our buildup. We do have a numerical advantage centrally, and again, that's our target area for our buildup. So as we advance and we're able to play forward, we again create a situation where we can find an open player or a free player to again move the game into the attacking half. Oftentimes in our build-out phase, we find that our central midfielders are man-marked against many of our opponents. This is where we often talk about the third man concept and how to use that to free ourselves from direct marks. In this diagram here, you would see where our 6 has the ability to play past our 8 and 10 into the 9, who can then look to play one of our 8s and 10s who are freed up from that movement. Our 8 and 10 can also drag their direct opponent out of that space to then create that window to play into our 9. I will note that though we've provided some samples and some shape based on an opposition playing in a 4-4-2, we obviously have to be prepared to deal with different playing shapes, different types of pressure, and different lines of confrontation. We have to understand the same solution may not solve every problem. And for our players to be able to recognize certain aspects and certain concepts and patterns in the game and be able to call upon them when necessary to solve the problem that the game presently presents to them. Moving forward with some examples of how we handled some different types of pressure and playing shapes this season. The clip is an example of our goalkeeper looking beyond the first line, our center backs, into our 2 and 3 and being able to skip that first line, and we're able to find that pocket of space to play and move the game forward. The following clip is a different way we broke that pressure. We get pressed with 3, forcing the game inside, not allowing us to play out to our outside back. Our center back is then able to find our attacking mid who comes in and then plays the free player, which is that outside back, which was blocked off by the original pressure coming from their forward. What's important here is that we're able to then find a player facing forward and advance the game into the attacking half. Another clip showing us how we deal with 2 strikers pressing us. We often speak about starting the game on one side but trying to finish on the other. So we start to our left and we're able to switch the point through our center midfielders and then use that backside to advance the game with good movement from our outside back and winger. The images and the concepts in this video hopefully give you an idea of some of the style of play or the principles we use here in the first phase of our build-up. It's important that we enter the attacking half under control, facing forward. Granted, we will deal with different types of pressures and different defensive structures, but hopefully this discussion was able to give you a good feel for our approach here at Coe.